Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, coming at you with some more 3D printing goodness. We are once again back at it with Dragon Trappers Lodge. Like I said, a big shout out to those guys. They've been supporting this channel now for quite a number of months, and I get the privilege of making a video showcasing some of their miniatures every single month. And the ones that I've decided to go for today, which is the Shadows over Silver Creek, which is part of this month's bundle. They bring out two different bundles every single month. They do a soldier tier and obviously they do the adventure tier, and they're just awesome. One is based around building armies and one is based around building D&D encounters, and you get an awesome selection of miniatures in both. You can of course go for the all-in-one tier, which will give you access to both, so you can go check that out using the link down below. The hardest thing when working with Dragon Trappers Lodge is genuinely picking what I'm going to 3D print and paint every single month. It is sometimes just really difficult. Sometimes it's easier because where's Fluffy? Fluffy was one of the best and most fun things that I've ever painted. I love her so much. She's incredible, and she is one of the months of Dragon Trappers as well. So this month I decided to go for an awesome beast that I can perhaps use in games of Silver Bayonet or as encounters for D&D, or I put it on a square base and a legal sized square base or rectangle base really to be used in Warhammer The Old World to stand in as one of the gnarly monsters from the old Monsters Arcanum as well. So there's a bunch of different uses for this miniature, and I love finding multiple uses for a single miniature. It's just awesome. So it's the Wendigo that I decided to go for today, which is this big awesome antler headed swamp monster. It was just too good to pass up. So that's what I'm going to be painting up in today's video, and having a little bit of a chin wag as well. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in and get this guy painted up. And look at this absolute beast of a miniature. So like I said, it did come with a beautiful custom 3D printed base. I actually did print off the base and all because I just wanted to see it. But I decided to go for a square base because I reckon this particular piece will end up being used for Warhammer The Old World game as one of the old elemental incarnate models that Forge World used to do. I kind of missed out on that guy years ago, and this seems like a really nice stand-in for that with the big antler horns and the horrible swamp monster look. I think he's awesome. So after I got the model done, the normal things, 3D printed, cleaned up, you know, assembled, sprayed black and then sprayed grey seer, and then I'm just going to throw some contrast paint over the top of it, give it a dry brush, add some cool texture paint, do a nice base for it, and then see what this miniature turns out like. I don't know about you, but there's certainly times when I'm doing a hobby that it is nice to be able to step up to something like, you know, these videos I do for these companies, because they're just a complete break from the norm. Like if I currently working on an old world armies, I'm currently working on Age of Sigmar armies, and I'm currently working on 40k armies all at the same time, and I struggle so much to try and find the time to carve out and get these armies done to play all the different systems that I've wanted to do. Like I wanted to really look into and try and get my hands on some miniatures for Silver Bayonet. Ever since I think PG started talking about it really 2 or 3 months ago now, and I have not yet managed to get my hands on or find enough time to get anything like that, which is a bit of a pain in it. But we will persevere through. Even this miniature here today, I'm like, this might make a really cool bad guy for Silver Bayonet, a horrible swamp monster coming out in the, you know, the Louisiana swamps of America. Instead of it being based in kind of Europe, you could have it based in, you know, the War of Independence for America, and have like that kind of era and setting and stuff. I think would be super cool. Some of the traditional monsters that are based out of American folklore, I think would be perfect for setting that up. But yeah, to get back on track with that, like, it's so nice to just be like, here's a selection of awesome miniatures. You have to build and paint one for a video, and then you get to just choose this totally random thing and try out new paints and try new techniques and try new stuff. And I love it. I think it's one of my favorite things about 3D printing as a hobby, is that you just get to wake up and go, you know what, I'm in the mood to do this today. Print, clean, assemble, paint. You could have a miniature that was literally a bottle of goop in the morning, and then be this awesome model that you will have for the rest of time. I still can't get over it. I'm very much not over the magic of 3D printing yet. And like, lots of companies come forward asking me to like review or test things, you know, board games or, you know, other bits and pieces that I don't think really suit the channel, or morally I don't particularly want to work with those kind of companies or whatever. But whenever a company reaches out and it's like, we have a dedicated team that loves making 3D printed sculpts and we do a monthly Patreon, like, I love them. I dive straight on them, like, absolutely, let's share what you do with the world. Let there just be more files in the world. Let there be more awesome games created and more miniatures for people to print and paint and play. I love it. And as you've seen, the Wendigo is a very... I keep saying Wendigo when I think I meant to say Wendigo. but I'm not 100% sure the correct way to say it. Wendigo? My knowledge from Wendigos is coming from Supernatural, so I think they say Wendigo.
Wendigo is a Cree Indian word. It means evil that devours.
This is the bit where the model went a little bit awry. I used Plague Bearer flesh for all like the swampy stuff hanging off him. But it was just a little bit too drab. It was a little bit too dull. It blended in with the kind of swamped out, dried out, husky wood that I went for his body. And yeah, it was fine, but I just wanted it to pop a little bit more. And that's where I reached in and grabbed the moss from Dirty Down. So Dirty Down also does the, you know, the different rust colors, moss and verdigris. And I've been using the moss more than I thought I would. It's really good for scenery and stuff. And then obviously when you're trying to do any kind of wood effect with kind of old moss or growth on it, it's so good. You'll see it now. You see how kind of drab and boring the green I did so far is. Obviously I'm doing the Ushabti dry brush just to make the paler wood kind of pop a little bit. But now we're going to go for the Dirty Down moss. And if you guys are using this, the key feature is to not only shake the hell out of it, but also to get a little stirring stick, feed it down the bottom and swirl, like literally scrape all of the pigment off the bottom of the pot and make sure you filter that back through and shake it around. Because if you don't scrape that bottom, it's not going to mix well when you shake it. Okay, so as you can see, the Dirty Down moss goes on as quite a normal paint. It's just like a rich green color. But as it dries, there's this crazy chemical reaction where it gets kind of rough and raised and a little bit, and it just looks like moss on a miniature scale. And I love it. And as you can see, it made it pop a hell of a lot more. I love the moss hanging off the antlers and stuff. And then we're going to go in and we obviously use some brown texture paste from AK Interactive for the base. So we're just going to use a Ryza Rust and then a little bit of Ushabti bone for finishing off the detail on the base, at least the soil part of it anyway. The base that you do actually get with this guy has like old kind of boards in it. It's got like swampy water and old trees falling down. So it really does suit the theme. Maybe I should have left this guy in his traditional base. I don't know what kind of bases monsters in Silver Bayonet are supposed to be. I guess because it's a miniature agnostic, it doesn't really matter. I can do what I want. But all the models on square bases if I want to, I think. Miniature agnostic. What a cool idea. Okay, so after I've done the brown on the base, we're obviously going to rim all of the base black and do 2 watered down thin coats around it. Obviously these are MDF bases, so when you do feed it around like that, it kind of soaks in a little bit. So it does take 2 coats to get a nice solid black and give him the kind of plinth finished base that I love for miniatures. I gave him a nice bright vibrant red for his eyes. I did think about giving him, like making him go super gory and having like blood splatter all up his chest and on his claws as if this thing is just torn something to pieces in the bayou, but nah, I decided to go a little bit more mundane for just now. Maybe I will add some crazy blood effect. This stuff I've never really used before, the old dry lichen, but I decided to give it a try for the base, make it stand out a little bit more. So you've got grass tufts and flowers and that cool lichen stuff all super glued into place, scattered around, and that gave us our finished Wendigo model. Like I said, for Old World, for I don't know, for a roleplay game or for games of Silver Bayonet, I'm not 100% sure what it was going to work for just now, but all I know is it's just another awesome miniature to sit on my shelf. I'm super happy that I got to build and paint it. Big thank you to Dragon Trappers for letting me do this for them, and if you want to check them out yourself, we will of course leave them linked in the description below. You can check out this month's bundles and see if this company is for you. Guys, here is our finished Wendigo. Can be proudly displayed next to Fluffy, and as you can notice, they're both put on square bases because I like to use them in games of Warhammer The Old World. Fluffy is going to stand in as a mangler squig for me, so she is based appropriately. And then I think this is the Incarmine Elemental of Beasts, which is an old Warhammer character, Warhammer Forge character, if you will, from Forge World. Whether they'll bring rules back for the Old World for that, I don't know, but if they do, I'm ready. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you do the standard thing that you should be doing for all YouTubers that you like and you want to support, which is like, comment, and subscribe in their videos. It takes absolutely no time out of your day, but it makes a huge difference to them, growth of their channel, and the success of what they're trying to do. So it really is just a really important thing to get into the mindset. When you're finished watching the video, make sure you give the video a like. If you've got anything to say, make sure you put it in the comments, and always make sure you subscribe to your channels. All right, guys, you guys are heroes. Make sure you check out Dragon Trappers Lodge down in the description below. If you love what I do and you want to help support and help me grow even further, there's links to things down below, like my Patreon, bunch of extra rewards for being a part of that, and affiliate links from places like Element Games, where if you buy your Warhammer or other hobby products, it costs you absolutely nothing else. In fact, you probably save about 15% on standard Games Workshop pricing, and I also get a little bit of a kickback as well. It costs you nothing. So it's just a couple of quick and easy ways to help support the channel. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking around at the end. I'll see you in the next one.